It's weird. It says it wasn't working, but my internet's fine. Nice. I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here, it's bent and it's catching all my flatbreads. So we gotta beat him out. You know what I mean? I'm not buying a new one of these. That was like $50 or something. Just bang one out. Um, so this one we're doing is the sesame pita bread. Next, it's always the same. Okay, it's always gonna be the same. Wednesdays, I get on, I do the sesame bread, I do the zatar bread, you know, and then we get the flavored flatbreads. Sesame. Sesame's only doing a few today. Who is that? Tail Go. Taelgo. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I see you. A little bit hot on the floor of the oven. So what we do is instead of letting them burn like I used to, I'll space them out on a pan, and that'll give the bottom of the bread and the stone like a little buffer in between, so they don't cook. Actually, I can do that over here, and I'll finish the last thing. Yeah. So having that little pan in there now will prevent the bottoms of the breads, the pita breads, from scorching and allow the tops to brown. So they'll be evenly cooking now. It's not ideal. But we do what we need to do to get the job done and make it nice. You know what I mean? Before I put them on the sheet tray, like, ooh, they're getting a little dark on the bottom. I would just burn them. I'd be like, okay, I got to sacrifice if we all burn these ones. And I don't know what I was thinking. There's always a way to. There's always a way to solve, and I was just being lazy. I mean, so now we do the zatar breads. I can already tell. How long you been cooking bread? Um, I really appreciate you asking. I think I've been doing it for like over a decade and a half now, but not this type of baking. See, they're not quite finished on top, but they would have burned on the bottom if I didn't do something about it. So I'm gonna just give it a little turn here, you know, and I'll put them back in for just a little tiny bit. Yeah, about thank you for asking. About a decade and a half, maybe more. Um, All done. So this one's gonna be for me. You know what? I was gonna. This is why it's hard, honestly, because I did this little one because I was like, oh, I'll break into it and I'll show the camera and then I'll use it for a clip and all that. But I really like going to the market and just handing these out for free to like kids that are interested but too scared to tell their parents to come like try what we have. They'll come up and they'll be like looking and like pointing, but nobody's like with them. And I'll just be like, just take this. You know, I was thinking about you when I made it. It's a bread with a local sorghum syrup, which is it's almost like molasses, but it's like made out of a cane, a sorghum cane. They juice the cane and boil it into a syrup. And then we add the syrup to a bread. And, whoopsie, we add the syrup to the bread dough. And it's almost like a honey wheat a little bit. But instead of honey, we use the sorghum. And it doesn't really make it sweet, it just softens it. Ow! Almost went a little dark on these guys. Keep an eye on that. Um, how are you guys doing? I can't see the chat right now, but I'm gonna wash my hands in a little bit and I'll take a look. You guys having a nice Wednesday? Oh, whoops. Is that it? Let me ask a question. Go ahead. Ask a question. How much money you spent in a month? Bro, are you talking about? I can't tell if y'all are talking to each other. I mean, but go ahead, have a conversation amongst yourselves. It's all good. If you're talking to me about how much money do I spend in a month, I don't know what you mean. Like, do you mean like personally? Like, how much money do I spend in a month in my personal bank account or the business bank account? A lot. The business bank account, a lot. I spend probably spend almost as much as we make. Whoa. Actually. A little bit of olive oil. Whoa. If you don't know what this is, it's dried thyme, sumac, sesame seeds in the Middle East. They do it a lot of different ways, but they usually call it zatar. All right. Mm. Probably more. Well, what country do I live in? I live in the U.S. I live in North Carolina on the East Coast. It's a little. It's like a little mountain area near Asheville, North Carolina, and uh, There's like a ton of farmers markets and stuff like that, so makes all this really easy to get rid of. Slow living out here. Wow. It's a lot hotter in the summertime. So I mean, I haven't looked at the chat, so I'm sorry if you have any like questions or anything that I haven't answered. Um, I just wanted to say that uh, I'm trying not to yap as much. I'm trying to just work, but it's kind of hard because like I talk a lot anyway when I'm by myself. So it's hard to not talk for me. But I was gonna say something. Oh, this bakery is actually just a garage. Okay, my house is right over there. This is a home bakery. So this is a garage that was converted into a bakery before we ever purchased a house. So in the summertime, it's about as hot as a garage would be in the bakery. Oh, I show this to y'all every time. This is the whole wheat sourdough, flatbread, zatar, olive oil. This is honestly, you can eat with like anything. Super traditional flatbread in the Middle East, um, but specifically Lebanon is like That's where my family's from. That's what my family grew up eating was pita bread. Pita was zatar. So this bread really reminds me of my grandmother, who's still alive and is by far the best cook I know. Oh, you got. Sorry, my English is. Oh, I thought you were British. What? Oh, no, no, no. I'm not British. No, I'm not British. It's okay though. Honestly, I don't know how to pronounce your name either. Tailgo, Talgo. I talk too much anyway, bro. So it's probably better if I just don't talk. Unless you have a question, you know. Oopsie. Whew. Word. Uh, do you want me to call you Tail? Tail or Tail? Tail, maybe it is. Yo, it's nice to meet you, bro. I appreciate all your interactions with what's going on. For real. You say you're from Israel? Did I fuck that up? Is Israel your name? I'm like I'm it's not it's just a language barrier. Just call me Israel. Oh, okay, okay, okay. What's up, Israel? Yo, that's cool. You're from Filipino. I've never been there, but I had friends back in a long time ago that were Filipino, and they always bring really fire food to the cafeteria. So y'all probably eating good out there. Are you busy every day? No, I'm not busy every day. I'm not busy, bro. Israel, I'm not busy. Purposefully not busy. At least I'm not busy. What I mean is I'm not busy with work. I'm not busy. Like, this is my passion, but it's also like, work technically. And I'm not busy with this. I'm busy living a beautiful life, and I'm busy. I want to be busy raising my children, Israel. Interesting. A little bit cooler than usual in the oven. A little bit cooler, but that's okay. A little bit hotter in the bakery, a little bit cooler in the oven, which means the dough is overproofing. Oven's getting cold. It's all right though. It makes it like a lot more fun and a lot more interesting when it's not perfect. When the bake doesn't go perfectly, because you get to learn more. So after those flatbreads are done, we're gonna do these flatbreads, the pan flatbreads. Two last ones in here. Oh shoot. Oopsie. Oh, that's easier. Oh my gosh. Oh, we did it. We did it, everybody. We did it. Bro. Oh my god. Yo! What the fuck? You stay there. All right. Some good questions. Yeah, I'm not 20. I'm 32. Um, I have a wife, got a baby, got another baby on the way. My dream car? I don't know, man. I don't give a fuck. Dream car? Like, I honestly, like, I like the way certain cars look, but I don't want them. You know what I mean? I like, I like the old Nissan Fairlady Z's, like the old Z's. Those are probably like my favorite old Nissans. But I'm not gonna buy one of those. I'm not like I'm a baker. I'm not like I'm not fit to get on my back and go under the old car and get the dirt on my face. I already tried that. I already tried that. When I was when we first moved out here, I was like, oh yeah, now that we're out in the country, I want to buy an old Ford truck and I could fix her up and blah blah blah. Bought a fucking $2,000 truck, broke down on me like 6 times, spent thousands of dollars on that thing. I redid the rear differential by myself. I did the brakes. It was the scariest. It was the scariest. It was the scariest feeling driving a car that you had worked on yourself, but you don't have any knowledge about the mechanics of a car other than the YouTube videos you watched for like 15, 20 minutes. So I won't. My dream car is probably just gonna stay my dream car. Also, I don't really like stuff. I don't like stuff. Good question. What's your dream car? Can you tell me your dream car? I want to know. I like cars a lot. Like I am a car guy. I'm not about to like start buying them and fixing them. It's like not my forte. But tell me your favorite car. Lamborghini, dude. Fuck yeah, you got a lot of taste. I have like zero taste. Motorcycle, I'll never get on a motorcycle, bro. I know too many people have passed away driving a motorcycle, and I don't want to ride a motorcycle because then my boy is gonna be like, I want to ride a motorcycle, and gotta set a good example. I think I'm gonna move you guys actually. We're doing strawberry today. Doing some strawberries. Don't mind the olive oil and stuff like that. I'll move that. See all that stuff back there? That's real. I put that there on purpose, all that junk, all the like bread pans and stuff, so that you guys really feel immersed in the commercial bakery setting. Those are all part of the plan. Last ones. So this one is like, I mean, it can come out like this. I like that too, but I like it when it's a little bit fluffy because if you cut that open, there's like huge pockets of air and it's almost like a donut a little bit, like crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside. This here is a little bit thinner, and that's more traditional. Even thinner than that, it's actually more traditional. All right. Let's. All right. I wanted to. I wanted to get like a little bit of a better angle of me doing this, because it's a really cool technique, and I feel like everyone should just know how to do this. Even if you don't bake, even if you don't bake, if you just like you just every once in a while you make pizza at home, or if you're like gonna do a potluck one day and you're like, oh my god, what do I bring? These are really good. You just it's essentially like pizza dough, and instead of stretching this whole thing to a pizza sheet like a focaccia, you just cut little strips and stretch the strips, and you can do whatever you want with the strips. You could bake them. Just you could bake them just like that without pressing them, or you can dimple them like this and put all sorts of stuff inside them. That's what we're gonna do. And this right here, if there's ever like a little piece that we didn't use or whatever, this just gets saved. These are really good if you just throw them in the oven. They're like really crispy. Um, but you just save that, and we'll put it in the starter bin and use it in our next batch of dough. Oops. Uh, all right. So now that we have 4 of these trays, that's 4 trays with 25 pieces each, right? So we made 100 pieces of bread dough, essentially, that we're gonna fill up almost like a little pastry. It's like a pastry, but it's not pastry, it's bread. And sorry, I'm not looking at chat. I just I also want to like not be late to the farmer's market. So I understand if you're like sitting there being like, why am I watching this guy again? All right. First, we're gonna do we do a cashew cream instead of using like dairy cheese. You know, we do a cream out of cashew nuts. We this one is a cashew cream, and it has scallions and garlic, so green garlic, which is why it's green, and then a little bit of parsley from the garden that we just harvested this morning. Uh, I've been a little bit less focused on like long format videos on YouTube. I've been just like doing lives and posting like stuff from the lives. But let's do it. But my plan is I'd like to show. I don't have like any plan at all. Actually, I have like zero plan. I want to show you guys how to make this that I'm putting on the flatbreads because it's so easy to make, and it's like a super good uh substitute for like cheese anytime you want to bake something. You know, like anytime I do pizza at home and I don't want to put cheese on it, like dairy cheese, I'll use this cashew cream. Or I've also been using it for like yogurt. Like instead of eating yogurt, I we make this cashew cream. It's just cashews, water, and salt, and you put a previous like a little bit of the amount like the previous batch in with the new batch, and you let it sit for about an hour on the counter, and then you can put it in the fridge, let it sit overnight in the fridge. And usually by morning time, it's almost like fermented, like a creme fraiche a little bit. It's just taken on a little bit of like this like sourness that reminds reminds all of our customers of cheese, like a baked creme fraiche or a baked ricotta. And it doesn't need any oil or anything because there's a bunch of natural like naturally occurring fat in the actual nut itself, so it just browns beautifully. Enough for the perfect amount. So let's do strawberry. I actually want to film me doing this. Okay, you see, I remember there was a long time ago. I was working in a it was not a nice restaurant, but people thought it was a nice restaurant. um, it was a restaurant, and there was a lot of staff at this restaurant. But one of the staff, he was like he was just about my age, maybe a little bit older or younger. I can't remember exactly, but he acted like he was like the head chef. You know what I mean? And and I kind of like took. I was like, bro, like chill, like you're not the head chef. You know, it kind of like frustrated me a little bit um, that he was always acting like he had a high up position, but he really just was essentially the same position as like everyone else who was just back there cooking. But I remember one time I cleaned a container out like this with a spoon, and he saw me and he was like, "Are you gonna put that in the sink, the container?" And I was like, "Yeah, Kyle." His name was Kyle. I was like, "Yeah, Kyle. I was gonna put it in the sink, bro. It's done. Like I got everything out of it I can." And he took out a spatula, and this is like a small spatula. This dude took out a spatula that was like a quarter the size, or maybe a half the size, and like went in there and got every last drop out. And I remember like watching him out of the corner of my eye, be like, "What an idiot!" at the beginning, and at the end being like, "Oh my god, he got like three more portions out of that I would have thrown away in the garbage." You know, so I don't know why I started like yapping about that, but anytime I take the spatula to the container, I think about Kyle. Look at that. Look, I if I just was like, oh, you know what, like we got enough, and like scraped it out with a spoon, I would have probably not gotten that last portion. Like no exaggeration. This is like all very exciting to like food industry folks. I'm like to like the normies who are just watching this crap on YouTube. They're probably looking at me like, dude, who gives a fuck? Stop yapping. But it's my live stream. I can yap if I want to. And I was doing squash on these guys, but not today. No squash today. I'm gonna do um beet and balsamic vinegar. And they're really nice local beets, beautiful, little small, like cute. I don't want to say baby, almost like adolescent beats. Oh my god, that is not funny. All right, you got flies buzzing around. That's all right. So we can put this one over here. Any questions at all, y'all? Who taught you to cook bread? Oh, it's probiotic. Oh, thank you guys for talking amongst yourselves. I'm pretty sure y'all are having like little conversation on it. That's better than me just like trying to conversate with everyone by myself. What was the question? Fuck, I forgot the question already. My dad was in the restaurant biz, so it's all very interesting. Oh, cool. Thanks, Sandra. Who taught you how to cook bread? I, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Who taught me how to cook bread? I learned how to bake bread off of YouTube. I learned off of YouTube for real. So that's why I kind of want to like start this YouTube channel and stuff to show people like this is a baker that learned from YouTube, you know? And I learned how to shape. Like I think I learned the bulk of what I know through like experimenting, looking stuff on YouTube, working at bakeries and stuff like that. But when it comes to actually physically touching the dough and handling the dough, you can't really like watch videos and get better at that. So I like my actual experience with doing this. I learned from just working at different bakeries, working under different bakers, getting the opportunity to like work at a bakery, and they allow me to like experiment and learn stuff. Um, but the person I had, there's actually a guy in Miami. His name's Mathieu. He's French. He's a fifth generation baker. Fifth generation. So his like fathers, his You get the point. His like great granddad was a baker or some shit, you know, French baker, and he got a head baking position right when I got like a whatever the bottom baking position is at this bakery that had been open for a long time in New York, but was now opening in Florida in Miami. So I luckily got the job for $9 an hour. I remember it was $9 an hour. I asked for 15 and they like looked at me like $15 an hour? Who the fuck are you, buddy? So I was like, $9 an hour? Sure, I'll suck your toes. And I did whatever the fuck they asked me. I remember I would see now I'm yapping, but I'll just get to this last thing out and then I'll focus. I remember I would do anything they asked me because I was like desperate to work for this bakery because it was like a really highly renowned bakery. And they were like, okay, Eli, listen, you're gonna come in at 8, right? You're gonna come in at 8 p.m. This wasn't like every day, but it was the majority of my shifts. And I needed the money too. They were like, you're gonna come in at 8 p.m. We're gonna be mixing and shaping and baking until about 3 a.m. And then we'll be taking the bread out of the oven, bagging it till about 6 a.m. And then you'll get in the delivery van after working the graveyard shift, and you'll drive all around Miami and deliver the bread to the fucking 30 or 40 different accounts that they had at the time, which is like small numbers to them. So it's like just the beginning days of that. And I was like, yes, sir, may I please have another, sir, for $9.50, sir. I was like trying to get overtime. And I mean, I'm like not happy to say that I've I don't know how to explain it. I was really proud of myself for working so hard, but I also look back and I'm like, I was working an unreasonable amount of hours. There were moments where I was literally like on the highway in Miami. And if you've ever been on the highway in Miami, you know that you should be diligent at the wheel. But I would be on the highway in Miami in the delivery truck, falling asleep at the wheel. One time, I was right next to Bow Harbor shops, so um, like tons of people shop there, famous people. You know, it's like a really widely known area. I was right next to Bow Harbor shops, driving back to the bakery to drop the van off, the delivery van off, and I fell asleep at the wheel, going like 0 miles an hour. Like we're in traffic, I'm going 0 miles an hour. My foot's on the brake. I fall asleep at the wheel while we're essentially parked. My foot slowly comes off the brake, and I inch forward in the delivery van and rear end a Mercedes. And I was like, I am fucked. Like I am not gonna be able to work at this company anymore. And I got out and I was like about to start crying and being like pleading. And the lady looked at me and she was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Is everything okay? And I was like, you drive a Mercedes. Why are you treating me so nicely? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? And she was like, I'm okay. And the only thing that was damaged was like a little bit of the bumper on the van. The Mercedes remarkably hadn't taken any damage at all, or at least any cosmetic damage. I don't think there was any damage. And she was like, listen, don't worry about it. A Mercedes driver. It was a beige Mercedes, and the lady got out and was like, don't worry about it, sweetheart. In Miami, my luck. I swear, my luck with cars. Like I have the craziest luck with cars. Fair enough. I mean, it was like unlucky to crash, but that was my fault. But then for her to get out and be like, "Oh, darling, it's okay, sweetheart," in Miami after driving, like that was just a. I just remember that being like a thank goodness moment. That was a thank goodness moment. Uh, Anybody saying anything? Oh, thank you. When you started YouTube, I don't know. I think I started YouTube like a year ago or something like that. I should have started earlier. Honestly, I've been on YouTube forever. Like all the things I know about like gardening and about I mean the things that I've learned about baking. If it hasn't come from within a bakery that I've worked at, it's come from YouTube. So I should have just started a YouTube channel earlier. I think it would be a lot cooler for people to see what it was like for me to learn how to use this oven. You know, be like troubleshooting this oven would have been probably a really cool YouTube channel. But now, you know, it's late in the game. Uh, we know how to use the oven to a certain extent, but we're still learning. Like every time I bake, I learn a little something here and there. And yeah, I think was it Sandra who said that? Yeah, Sandra. You said you have your own oven or your own bakery. Yes, we were lucky enough to move to Asheville, North Carolina, and as soon as we moved, about like less than a year later, there was this home bakery that went up for sale that I had really admired actually, and I wanted to work for them. But when I came up here, I found out they were closed, and almost as soon as we moved here, they put it up for sale. Honestly, I would have never ever uh, I would have never tried to purchase a property. But my wife was like, we should go say hi. Like we should go meet them and just get our name in with these people because they're in the baking industry, you know, in Asheville. And I was like, okay, we'll go. And as soon as we got here, we got to meet the owner of the house, the bakery, back behind, back right. If you go straight here, there's a shed that they were using as a flour mill. And after we met the people who own the house, they were like, we're trying to, we've gotten cash offers on this house already, and people want to, restaurants in the area want to turn it into like kind of like a restaurant or something a little bit larger than what it is meant to be, which is like a small home bakery. And I essentially was like, if you give me the time to get the money together, we will be the perfect people to take this place on, because I was like, all I want to do is learn how to wood fired bake and use like regionally grown wheat. And he was cool. He held this place for us until we got the money. And it took months. It took months to get the down payment, and then it took months to get um the IRS to give us everything we needed to get the loan. So we're just super lucky. Now, I'm super lucky because without everything going the way it's gone for the past however many billion years on Earth, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you making flatbreads in a wood fired oven. So I really am super thankful. Thankful that you guys too. I really appreciate y'all coming watching the stream. Yeah. Here. All right. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back over here. I think 6, 7. Oh my god. Dude, I appreciate you throwing a couple 6, 7s into my chat. Makes me feel like a real streamer, even though I'm just a part timer. We're gonna start with the beat ones. We're gonna do the beat ones first. All right, so the beat ones, you just put a generous amount of beats in here. Again, delicious local beat. And I know there's probably not any bakers in the live stream right now. But if there are any bakers in the live stream, do this in your bakery, do this at home, do this next time you go to like a what's it called? Potluck, or like next time you're trying to do something fun and interesting for the market, do some flatbreads, bro. Screw a pastry. Pastry is icky. You want to do some delicious flatbreads. That's what everybody wants. Everybody just wants pizza anyway. You go to the farmers market, they either want like a croissant, a cookie, or a pizza. Those are the top three at the market. Or like a bagel. You know, if you got bagels, and like I'm talking about the snack on. You toast up a bagel. I got someone who does that at the market right next to me. They do really well. Get out of here. You can't hear it, but I just heard a pileated woodpecker outside. It's like one of my favorite birds. Oh, he's one of my favorite birds that just like lives around here, not like ever. Okay, we'll close this. Olive oil. Put this over here on the speed grab. And we're gonna put a local balsamic vinegar as soon as it comes out the oven. We put it on. And I'll leave this till last here. Oops. Oh. This right here is mushrooms and local scallions. The mushrooms are local too. They're actually grown by like really good friends of mine. We been doing the market right next to each other for like 7 or 8 years now. They're called Black Trumpet Farm, and they live probably like 25 minutes away from me. They're gonna be at the market today, so it's really nice to be like, oh, we use Black Trumpet Farm mushrooms, and we can point right to them at the market, which means a lot. My apron, it's like coming off me, yo. Today it's shiitakes. Usually it's like a mix of mushrooms from Black Trumpet, but he gave me like two gigantic boxes of shiitakes, and I really like that mushroom. Their shiitakes, they're not like the average where you have to like take the stem off because they're so fresh. The shiitakes are like picked fresh for the market, so the stem is really tender. You know, you just roast it. We put a little bit of olive oil on like a big sheet pan of shiitake mushrooms, good pinch of salt, and just put them in the oven at like 480, 500 degrees. Could be hotter though. It's nicer when it's a little bit hotter. Get the really good roast on it. Not for you. Not for you. Not for you. That's the one thing about working in a garage. Like if you if you it's I'm like believe me, this is ideal. Like I'd rather be burning hot in a two car garage baking bread than like working for somebody else. But if you do get hot, you know, in the garage, and you're like, let me open a door, let me open a window, and we don't have screens or anything, because it didn't have screens when we got here, so we just haven't put them on because we're fucking dumb. But yeah, like as soon as it's summer, winter is no problem. You'd be like, ooh, it's a little like I want a nice breeze in here. You can put the windows open. But in the summertime, you put the windows or doors open with no screen. You're gonna be little flies as soon as you open up the door. All right. Just gonna push it down a little bit to the flatbread. And when I'm doing the strawberry one, I'm gonna start throwing in bread, I think. I'm really sorry about the noise. Really hot in there. Really hot in there. Just do this. Okay, I'm gonna start baking. I don't know if it's the best idea, but I'm gonna start. It's just really hot in there. What time is it right now, y'all? 11:34. Yeah, sorry. These are mashed potatoes with local scallions, olive oil, and sea salt. Might be a little hot to bake on, but we'll see. Local potatoes, local scallions, local flour. Then we'll put the beets in too. Just got to keep a really close eye. So this right here is sumac, and it goes really nicely with the mushroom because mushrooms that got that like deep umami flavor, and the sumac is nice and sour, so it kind of cuts through that like richness and the heartiness of the bread and the richness of the mushroom and the cashew cheese. Sumac is nice. It's like you put a bunch of lemon on top, but we don't have to buy lemons and worry about them like going bad or like worry about where we're sourcing them from. It's just a really good Palestinian sumac right here. Lebanese olive oil. All right. And the last one here. I'll go with this. Last one. It's gonna be a flatbread with strawberries here. Strawberries and local sorghum syrup. Oh, whoopsie. I'm just gonna kind of mix the sorghum so it's all glazed. They're all glazed. Never done it with strawberries before. Usually the color kind of fades after you start cooking strawberries, so it's not my favorite. I like to do like darker berries. The color stays on the stays whatever the color is, like blueberries, blackberries, it'll get like darker rather than like becoming a lighter color. Instead of this becoming deep red, kind of becomes like a soft pink, and then later it becomes like a gray. So it's not my favorite berry to work with, but I do love strawberries. Just want to see what this looks like here. Lovely. These guys are done. They go quick. It's 700 degrees in the oven today. Little baby pan. I'm gonna do a video on those too. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video on the potato one because it's just super easy. But then you take it to a party and it like doesn't look easy. It looks like you're like such an amazing baker, but really, it's the easiest. It's the easiest like little pastry type snack that I've ever made. Might have to cut a little bit more strawberries, but that's okay. Oopsie. Can't forget we still got the stuff in the oven. The last beet tray in there. First in one. I think we're good on strawberries actually. Look at that. See that? That's why I like buying like local, like cute stuff like that. So this is the beet one. And while it's still hot, we put local balsamic vinegar on it. Glistening. Oh man. All right, let me just get this last one all finished. Something I was gonna say something, but I can't remember now. These are sesame seeds. That's the mushroom, scallion, and sumac. If you're just tuning in. And this is the mix tray with all three of them. All right. So we got all the bread done. Not done. We got all the bread shaped in the oven. And clean up a little bit. I'm going to sleep. Oh, good night. Good night, Israel. Mm. I didn't even read the chat. I didn't look at it. What does it say? I read a little bit, but yeah. Yeah. Um, that was a dude named Israel out in like the Philippines. I don't know what he was doing. He was just spamming hey. Um, if you have any questions, let me know. It's all wood fired sourdough bread. I got some of them out of the oven, some of them still in the oven. Big brick oven. Getting ready to go to the farmer's market. Trying to hustle so I'm not late. I really appreciate everyone who watched today. I know you're probably still not watching, or you're probably not watching now. You know, you probably just watched earlier. But yeah, I really appreciate it because I'm just trying to. All we're trying to do here is document the process that we go through to get to the market. It's not really aimed at anyone. If I were to say, like we have a demographic, it would be like other bakers, whether it's like a commercial baker, a home baker, or professional, whatever, so that they could be inspired by like seeing different techniques used on the dough, seeing different ingredients used, like a different quality of ingredient being used. But the fact that anyone's watching it all is pretty remarkable to me. I really appreciate it. Just lucky enough to be able to bake in this space and show people what we're doing in this space. So, just feeling grateful, feeling thankful and grateful. I'm gonna give this stuff a rotate. Woo! Hot today. Jordan, love your content, man. Started a farmer's market this year myself, not using this whole, but using locally grown stuff here and there. Whoa, Jordan, bro, that's awesome. That's that's really awesome. Um, I really appreciate the compliment too, and I'm kind of shocked that someone who's in this field is actually watching this. I'm fucking stoked. Um, yeah, dude, you don't use 100% whole wheat. I don't think 100% whole wheat is the goal. I think using locally sourced flour, working with regenerative and sustainable farms and stuff like that. Farmers who like care about, farming heirloom grain or sustainably farming grain, and then you're closing a loop if you're working with that miller because they're working with a farmer, um, or the miller's working with a farmer, and then you're working with the miller, and all y'all can work together because you're all working together. If one of you gave up, it would be harder for that person to continue their job. So I just feel like it's really cool that you're working with local flour, dude. That's fucking awesome. The flatbreads have whole wheat in them, but they're not 100% whole wheat. You could make them 100% whole wheat. They would have a different texture, and they would probably sit a little bit heavier in your stomach, meaning like you would be more satiated. So I use a high extraction flour for the flatbreads too. A portion of it is a high extraction flour. It's an 85 from the same mill. It's a red wheat. Fuck yeah, Jordan. Dude, I'm so happy that someone's baking and watching. Like someone's watching this shit because they're a baker, not just because they're just on YouTube. That's awesome. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate you, bro. Man, there's usually I would pack the car right now. What time is it? Local food systems. Fuck yeah, brother. Yes. Food systems helping the farmer help the producer or the cook or the Yeah, dude. That's why we use local ingredients. Not just me, you too. But that's why we use local ingredients. Build a healthier food system. Sorry about the noise. Everything is noisy. Like if you're gonna watch this stream, Jordan, you might be the only one watching right now. If you're gonna watch this stream, if you're gonna watch the videos, just know everything is gonna be noisy, and most things are broken in this bakery. I apologize in advance. Everything looking really good. Really even bake. Um, this one, I don't know if anybody saw, but it's the whole wheat sourdough flatbread, and it's got roasted beets that are sourced locally and a balsamic vinegar that's sourced locally. And then up here, this is mashed potatoes with olive oil and sea salt, and it has chopped scallions in it. It's wrapped in a thin whole wheat sourdough crust. And I got some more stuff in the oven. We're gonna be going to the Rad Farmers Market today at about 2:30 is when we have to head out. Um, if y'all have any questions, let me know. We do all wood-fired sourdough breads out here. Appreciate you tuning in. It was a good bake. It was a good bake. Uh, some dude in the chat was just asking me all sorts of questions and stuff, and that usually doesn't happen. So it was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna switch the camera around so I can like stare at what's going on. Oopsie, whoops. Wait. Oh yeah, my bad. Here we go. Someone said do a short on the flatbreads like Joe Zeal Cook on YouTube. I don't know who that is, but I'll think about it. I'm gonna go a second longer on these guys. This one right here, that one is the finished mushroom, scallion, and sumac. And this one is local strawberries and a local sorghum syrup. So it's almost like molasses, but from sorghum canes instead of sugar cane. And it's got the local strawberries, the sorghum, and a little bit of sesame, which when you start like crunching up the sesame, it gives it a really nice nuttiness. And I find that it kind of like the strawberries or the blueberries, whatever fruit we put with the sesame, gets a little bit like peanut butter and jelly when you chew it enough in your mouth. And this one is the mix tray. So it's got, oh, well, you can't see. It's got the mushroom one, and then it's got the beet one right there. And that I'm going to put the local balsamic vinegar on. Ow. So oh, so we baked everything. Time is it? 12:13. That means I have uh I guess I have about like 2 hours, 2.5 hours to wash my face and shower, let these cool a little bit, cut them, portion them, bring them to market. This right here is what I just put on the beet. It's a local balsamic vinegar. The dude's named Scott, and I think he was previously like a rocket scientist or something, and then he gave all that up to chill and do balsamic vinegar, smoke a little bit of weed. You know what I mean? He's chill. He's really chill. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have to shower, and there are 3 of you watching right now, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Not no pressure, no pressure. But if you want to see more shit like this, I post reels, or excuse me, I post shorts all the time on YouTube, and I'm gonna be posting some more like long form content and stuff like that. So absolutely no pressure. If you want to sub, I would be appreciated. Peace, y'all. Thank you so much.